Right, so you want to do the Wim Hof method. Good for you. It works. It's definitely worked for me. It's a very interesting experience and certainly helped me step it up. It certainly helped me move my life forward in terms of areas of business, family, etc., etc. The idea really with this video is for me to report now, roughly half a year in, my findings with the method and my thoughts on whether you should do it or not. Before you enter into doing the Wim Hof method, definitely get yourself checked up by the doc. Make sure that you don't have any breathing issues, etc., etc., because there's certainly going to be a couple of things that you'll be doing that will affect your blood flow, your breathing, and things like that. Now, once you've got yourself checked out, get yourself the Wim Hof app. Read Scott Carney's book, What Doesn't Kill Us. Do also read Patrick McKeown's book, The Oxygen Advantage. There's reasons for reading both. Scott Carney's book is a great report on the method and his findings. Bearing in mind, as a writer, journalist, he went into writing this book and interviewing Wim with the idea of debunking his method and was very quickly turned by its effectiveness. Patrick McKeown's book, The Oxygen Advantage, is coming from a different angle, a different perspective, and in fact talks about overbreathing. It does offer some contrast to the Wim Hof method and the thoughts behind it. The reason why I say read that is because it gives you a better understanding of the physiology that's going on inside your body when doing breathing techniques. And in fact, Patrick has got a number, about 8 different breathing techniques in there. Worth a read of both. First couple of weeks to a month, expect to experience some interesting things, most of them positive. Expect to feel some highs, and I mean real highs. I mean the kind of euphoric highs that if you were a raver like me back in the 90s, you will have had a similar experience. Expect to lose some weight initially. That is all to do with the process of growing brown fat sending signals to your brain to burn white fat as fuel energy. Again, there's lots of stuff out there as to how that all works, and in fact I've done a video on this as well. Suffice to say, you lose weight and then I think you sort of gain a bit afterwards. But don't do it if you just want to find a method of losing weight. You will lose weight, but don't do it for that reason. Do expect some incredulous reactions from your friends and family. I still get it now. But what you'll do is, once you've bought into this whole idea, you'll start to find it all rather amusing, and you'll enjoy the fact that people are shocked by the things that you're doing. Once you've had a few of those highs, and the reason why you get those highs is that you're shocking the system, you're shocking your brain, you're shocking your mind, your body, etc. You're doing things to your body where your brain has to react, and in some instances is flooding the system with extra neurotransmitters, neurochemicals. For example, when you're in the cold and you experience that cold, certainly initially, number one, you're not going to be able to stick in a cold shower for too long initially. Number two, you are definitely going to go, you're going to either scream or you're going to, your body is going to, seize. You're going to have some interesting experiences. Least of all, at some point, you're going to feel exhilarated by the whole thing. That exhilaration is what creates a neuropeptide that actually boosts your immune system. So one of the statements that Wim Hof makes, and one of the reasons why you should do the Wim Hof method is, according to him, that your immune system will be boosted. And there is now science behind this, and he has been tested to test that theory. In fact, he was injected with a serum of some kind of disease that would have knocked any other human being down and they would have been ill for quite some time. He was able to get his body to reject that illness, that disease. Now, back to back to the boosting of the immune system. So by simply feeling exhilarated, your body sends out a neuropeptide, and that neuropeptide boosts your immune system. There's probably other ways or other reasons why your immune system is boosted during this cold therapy as well. But that is absolutely the case. I can tell you now, as a parent, over the last year, my wife and son both have experienced a number of different colds, none of which I have caught since doing the Wim Hof method. So from my perspective, again, absolutely, you do have a boost in your immune system. A couple of months in, you'll start getting used to it. You'll be able to experience a longer time in the cold. Your power breathing, which is part of the process. The power breathing, by the way, involves a forced hyperventilation followed by breath holds. And you'll start finding, a bit like a free diver, that you're able to hold your breath for longer than you thought. And what's interesting is that you're holding your breath at the point when you've removed, so you think, all the oxygen from your body. So that's really interesting to test and play around with. Again, be careful with it because it's breath holding. Some people have blacked out. Some people have had some rather shocking experiences. I'll have to say those that have had the shocking experiences have done the process incorrectly or in the wrong environment. So, for example, I do my breathing, my power breathing in the morning after I've meditated. Done a couple of stretches. I do my power breathing before I then have a cold shower. Some people have been doing their power breathing in water. They've done, there's some very poor decisions being made by people out there who are experimenting with the whole Wim Hof methodology. Do it sensibly and you'll be fine. Now, some negative effects that I've found. I have poor blood circulation, certainly in my hands, I think in my feet. Whether or not I've got Raynaud's, I don't know. But I found during the winter months, doing the Wim Hof method, where I was walking in the snow, -5, -10 in my t-shirt, that because obviously when you get cold, your body, as you know, starts pushing all the blood to the vital organs. It's your extremities that lose the blood flow. So I was definitely getting some form of frostbite in my fingers. I've reported this in another video previously. So be careful. I need to figure out a way of hacking that, of getting round that idea. A friend pointed out the other day, actually, why don't you just simply circle your arms? That using the centrifugal force to force the blood to my hands. Well, sounds like a silly idea, but it would probably work. So 6 months in now, what do I find? I don't get any of those highs, those significant highs anymore, but what I do get is still that overall heightened sense of positivity, a feeling of more energy than I've ever had before. It's brought back those feelings that I used to get when I was young, when I used to jump out of bed. And I kind of lost that, I think, in my 30s and when I became a parent. When I started doing this method again, this Wim Hof method, it brought that back. I get up at now 5:30. By the way, this Wim Hof method doesn't make you get up at 5:30. It's because I'm a parent and I love the morning. So I get up at 5:30, do all the various things. But what it has done is it's brought back that feeling of being alive again in the morning. It's where I get my most of my energy. So I love jumping out of bed. I love the thought that I'm going to have a cold shower. You will get to like it, believe me, you really will. I now, especially now it's spring, summer, I now have my cold showers in the garden. Video I'll show you here. I've had a few ice baths. I've rolled about in the snow. So you'll start to experiment with being cold. And you get to like it. You really will. Sometimes you're not necessarily liking it during the time. Although I have to say I am now. Every time I'm in the cold, I'm experiencing the benefits, knowing there are benefits, and therefore feeling good about doing it. But always afterwards, you feel great. So back to the other negatives. As I say, be careful. If you have bad circulation, Do be careful when you're doing this in the winter months, because you'll find that you do need to warm up. Let's say you go for a dog walk out in the snow in your t-shirt. Don't think that you can come home again and still wander around in your pants. You definitely need to warm up again. Your body can't sustain that for too long. You do need to warm yourself up again, so don't be silly about it. I've learned by experience. I guess really overall, half a year in, I know I'm going to continue doing this. Half a year in, I'm still experiencing the same heightened energy levels, positivity that I have right from the beginning. So it's got to be worth doing, hasn't it? Give it a go. Especially if you want to move your life on, if you want to try something new, if you want to change your life, if you want to look for ways of boosting your energy, your positivity. If you're like me, starting another business, you know, if like me, you're a parent and you want to be a better husband, father, human being, do it, because it definitely gives you a boot up the bum.